Pat Harvey. And we had historic rain this winter, right? And
sure
the
did.
drought officially ended in most of California. So you'd think we'd be done talking about water restrictions, right? We're not.
That's right, you'd think. And tonight, the federal government may make the most sweeping changes to water rights in many Western states ever.
And it could have an impact, a major impact on Southern California. KCAL News political reporter Tom Wade is here, as usual, to explain it to us.
Well, it does take some explanation, right? Because
Yes.
we did have a ton of rain, so everyone's probably thinking, why are we going through this still? So the record snow in the Sierra will provide plenty of water for us this summer, but we also rely heavily on the Colorado River, and it's still in critical condition. The feds hoped California, Arizona, and Nevada would figure out a plan to share what little water is left in it, but the states didn't figure it out. And now it appears the feds are stepping in.
With record-setting moisture in parts of the state, by some measures, the drought is over in swaths of California. But the hangover from the decades of our mega drought continues, and that means the crisis on the Colorado River persists. As a result, the Biden administration is set to take unprecedented actions and make historic cuts to our water supply.
Now's the time for tougher cuts.
Felicia Marcus is the former chair of the California State Water Resources Control Board and is now a Landreth visiting fellow at Stanford University. She says the Biden administration is facing a stark reality when it comes to water rights on the Colorado River.
It's unprecedented for the federal government to unilaterally make cuts, because they've tried over the course of all these years to get the states to come to agreement. And in fairness, the 7 states have reached interim agreements that have forestalled this day for an extra 6 or 7 years in the face of this 23-year drought. But we're now at the end of that line.
Some history and background. 122 years ago, pioneers dug the first canal, bringing the Colorado River to the Southern California desert. Those ranchers and farmers created one of the world's most productive agricultural regions in the Imperial Valley. Because they were the first, the feds decided they would always have preferred rights to the water. They called it the law of the river. But as the major cities from LA to Phoenix and beyond grew, and with the drought and climate change and the politics of water, it's now possible the 100-year-old law of the river will come to an end. The Biden administration has put forward 2 proposals, which they're also calling an environmental analysis. The first proposal prioritizes California's senior water rights. The second is to more evenly distribute the water between California, Arizona, and Nevada. The third is to do nothing. Chris Schuring is a water attorney with the California Farm Bureau. He says California's senior water rights must be recognized.
What we understand to be very senior rights under the law of the river, and those were the terms of the deal as we proceeded to develop and use the Colorado River and extend service to some areas of other states. Now, at least this proposal from the Biden administration seems to, I guess, abrogate that.
Some wonder if the White House is changing its tune because President Biden is eyeing a run for re-election next year and desperately needs to win Arizona and Nevada, 2 swing states.
Water politics determines everything in the history of the West, including California, Nevada, and Arizona. Purely from a political electoral perspective, California is easy. No matter what you do to it, it's going to be blue. It is Nevada and Arizona, which are becoming purple.
The water rights proposals put out by the Biden administration are almost certain to change during negotiations. States, tribes, and other water users now have until May 30th to comment before federal officials announce their formal decision. So a lot going into this, and I know it's confusing because we did have a lot of water this winter, and people think, oh, we can turn those sprinklers back on.
And speaking about a lot of water, what are experts saying about the impact to the Colorado River? If we had so much here, I'm assuming they had some there as well, right?
Right. So that's a big issue. So the water, they're saying that there will be a lot more water runoff from the snowmelt into the Colorado River. So that will help us, and it will stave off, they said, about 6 months of some real crisis. It will fill up some of the reservoirs, but it's still not enough for like the long term because, again, we've been in this drought for 23 years.
That's right. Well, we have about May 30th. That's when the time that they have to make the comments, and then we'll hear more after that. Very interesting, I think, with all of us sitting here when we heard Mr. Guerra say, well, it's a red, blue, and purple issue, which is probably right.
And it is interesting how it boils down to the politics of water, right? And who gets the wine. It's a critical resource.
Huge for us on the West.
Important in the West.
Okay. Tom, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
All right. Well, moving on to this, a Koreatown mosque still on high alert.